exactly are they giving out when they do that?
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of the national colors of the Leavenworth High School Junior ROTC colors. Commanded by the Fifth Corporal, on condition you remain standing for the national anthem.
Okay, folks, here we go. Leavenworth versus Nixa. It's time to get it on, folks. Championship game. Tip-off goes to Nixa, and Padgett's down there by himself. Throws it up, no good. Gets it back out. Nixa coming back down the floor. Got to watch out for Bundy. He was a high scorer last night for Nixa. And the jam is no good. Picked up by Xavier Young, coming back down. Padgett from the outside for three is good. So the Leavenworth Pioneers draw first blood. You have to excuse me, folks, if my throat's a little hoarse here. We've called 12 games in the past 3 days, and it's been exciting all the way down. And it looks like penalty against the Pioneers is going to be against Hamlin. And number 2, Austin Reuter, also was a pretty good shooter last night. He misses his first free throw. And he misses his second as well, rebounded by Greenberg. Young brings it down. They slow down the pace. Funderburk up the middle. Out for three. Young misses. Rebounded by Paget. Back out to Young once again. Funderburk and Greenberg floating around the outside. Greenberg rolling up the middle. And it looks like Pioneers will have possession. Went off a Nixa defender. Paget will be inbounding. Probably going to shoot it out to Greenberg right there. Floats it back for the jumper. No good. Rebound taken by Bundy. All the way down to number 14 with a floater. Does not go in. Hook around to the outside for number 23 for Norman. His first score of the day. And Greenberg with the rebound. Greenberg with the rebound there. Gets him on the board for the night. Norman once again driving up the middle. And that's going to be up against, he went up against Greenberg. Oh, excuse me, he went up against Funderburk, and Funderburk got the penalty, so it's going to be 2 shots for Norman at the line. He shot about 80% last night. Misses his first. Norman lines up for his second and puts that one down. So right now all the points on the board for Nixa is from Norman. Kicks out to Funderburk on the outside. Back out to Young. Once again, the Dakota Hamlin top of the key, in good for 3. Reuter bringing it back down, trying to slow down the pace here. Kicks it back out to Norman. The shoots it from the backside is no good. Picked up by Greenberg, brought back down to Dakota Hamlin. Inside to Young. And he picks up the penalty on the inside. Going to get 2 at the line. And that penalty was on Ryan Eady. Young's first is good. And second for Young. Right now, Young shooting 100%. Norman driving to the center once again, no good. Oh, and looks like a defensive foul on Nixon. Don't know if that was inadvertent or if that was a little bit of frustration on Norman's part. Pioneers will inbound right there. Young with the ball, bringing it down. Dishes it out to Paget, sitting outside, out to Funderburk. Almost stolen there. Hamlin comes back up with it. Out to Young once again. Drives around the inside and he goes off the foot. And off the foot of a Nixa defender. Number 14 checks out of the game. Number 25 checks in for Nixa. That's Wes Middleton. Out to Greenberg on the outside. Kicks it right back out. Back out to Paget once again. Up for the jump 3. No good. Rebounded by Funderburk. Ball's being kicked around. Picked up finally by number 2, Austin Reuter. Back out to number 15, Epps. Brings it down. He was dangerous last night as well. Norman sitting outside for 3. Ball stolen by Greenberg and by Paget once again. Back outside to Epps and up for a layup. Exciting action right there. Now Young will try and slow him down a little bit, get him set up. He's at the Funderburk top of the key. Into the inside for Paget. Into Hamlin and good. 2 more. Hamlin's sitting on 5 for the night right now. Pass to the inside of the big man, number 25. Rebound is taken by 23, Norman. Good for the rebound. Norman's sitting on 5 of the 7 points right now. That was on Epps. Penalty on him. Paget will be inbounding, probably going to try to get it to Greenberg or Hamlin. Funderburg sitting on the inside. Young takes it out deep. Fires it into Paget. Dish to Greenberg on the outside, out to Young once again. Into Paget, but the pass was just a little bit too strong. Flies out into the crowd. Austin Reuter will be inbounding for Nixa. Excuse me, folks, if I'm coughing in your ear there. It's definitely a Ricola moment. It looks like my production assistant is going to be helping me with that, and I thankfully thank you for that. So Reuter sends it to Epps and is bringing it back up. Covered up by Young. Driving up the middle, number 33. And Hamlin is called on the penalty there. It's going to bring number 33, Chan Hocklander, to the line. Hocklander was effective last night from the outside. And I don't think he actually got to the... I don't know how effective he was from the line last night. I don't actually think he went to the line last night. But he's 0 for 2 today. Looks like Wiggins is checked in. Into Funderburg for the rolling layup. Good for 2. Hocklander kicks it out to Reuter, up for 3, no good. Rebounded by Funderburg. Coming down the court. That ball's been dished around all the way back out. Out to Wiggins for 3, and it's no good. And it looks like Norman tried to bounce it off of Epps, but was unsuccessful. So Leavenworth Pioneers have possession. Bundy checking back in. Epps checking out. 3 minutes left to play in the first period. Leavenworth leads 14-7. As expected, this turned into a high-action game. Paget gives it up to Greenberg. Sitting down in three-point land. Drives the paint into the inside. And draws the foul. But the foul was against Paget with offensive foul. And gives the ball back over to Nixa. Reuter will inbound to Bundy. Bundy had a very exciting play last night. He drove all the way down past every single defender untouched and jammed it from about 7 feet out from the foul line. It was very impressive. Excuse me, from the free throw line. And speaking of fouls, Paget picked up the foul there, sending Reuter to the line once again tonight. And he dropped one in. Reuter shot about 75 to 80% last night from the line, so he's not necessarily the one you want there. That is, if you're a Leavenworth fan. If you're a Nixa fan, then he's exactly who you want up there. And it looks like we have a little bit of confusion here, trying to work it out. And Coach Hogan was the one to point out the possible error. And while the referees are having a confab, remember, folks, this is brought to you by Citizens National Bank and Brad Padgett. Citizens National Bank is a sponsor and has been a sponsor of this tournament for 17 years. Citizens National Bank is a family-owned, independent financial service organization, and there's a support of local webcasting here in Leavenworth and Lansing. Member FDIC. So it looks like we had, the question was on the fouls of each individual player. One had too many and one didn't have enough. So they switched the numbers around. Funderburk drives it up. And looks like, oh wow, don't see that often. Jarrett is called for a charging there, and turned the ball over to Nixa. So Bundy's bringing it down. Epps flying off to the side. Hocklander sitting on the outside line. Float back for two is no good. Rebound by Norman is in for two. Padgett with the ball on the outside. Jason Randall is checked into the game. Oh, and traveling called on the Pioneers. Traveling, looks like they were called on Wiggins. Score right now with 2 minutes left to play in the first period. 14-11 in favor of the Pioneers. Young out to cover on Bundy. Number 3 on the inside, goes for the hook, no good, rebounded by Young. That's Jensen in for Nixa. Young up at the top of the key, sees Randall to the side, kicks it out to Padgett. Padgett recovered from a fall. Wiggins for the shot is no good. Kicks back out. Rebound by Padgett. Back out to Wiggins. Out to Jason Randall. Inside to Padgett. Fadeaway jumper is good. Padgett sitting on 5 points now for the Pioneers. Jason Randall covering up real tight. Norman on the outside for 3. No good. Rebounded by number 3. And finally up with the outside jump is Jensen for 2. Young coming down. Passed it out to Wiggins. Dishes it right back to Young. And Pioneers spreading out the defense. Dish back to Greenberg. Greenberg watching the clock. Covered up by Jensen. Kicks back to Young. Young's covered by Edie. Young breaks through, kicks it back to Greenberg, who drives up into the paint. That was Jensen, his very first foul. Padgett will be inbounding. 7.7 left on the clock. Out to Randall, shot by Greenberg is good. Down for another 3, and that runs them out. So that leaves you score at the end of the first period. Leavenworth 19, Nixa 13. And that was exciting, folks. Exactly what we expected. Both teams came out firing, and they are really kicking it hard. Once again, folks, this tournament is brought to you by Citizens National Bank and Brad Padgett, sponsors of the Leavenworth Invitational since 1995. Also, by Danny's X Ford on the corner of Muncie and K7. Lisa Reese with Caldwell banker Riley & Sons. The Corrections Corporation of America. The Leavenworth Times, leavenworthtimes.com. Young Stein Company. And the list goes on and on. We thank our sponsors so much for all their support that they send this way for these kids to have tournaments like this. And, of course, 810varsity.com is covering all of the Leavenworth games this year, home and away. So you'll be hearing from me, Harley Riddle, every time you hear Leavenworth sports. So I'm hoping that you can become a fixture in your house, if you will, and not the one that you hang the dirty clothes on. So beginning of the second period is 19-13 in favor of the Pioneers. Nixa will have initial possession. Edie inbounds to Bundy. And looking to set the tone early, the pressure's on. And driving up into the middle, traveling call on Bundy. So that'll turn it right back over to the Pioneers. Greenberg will be bringing it in. Greenberg kicks it out to Young. And Bundy runs him around and gets him on the baseline. That was a wonderful steal, but negated by the fact that he stepped out of bounds. That was really fast action and a good heads-up thinking by Bundy. Young back in and loses the ball, and it was touched once again by a Nixa defender. So the Pioneers again will have the ball. These guys have got to settle down if they want any type of a chance against the Pioneers. They're going to have to settle down and stick to their game plan. Pass deep into Jason Randall. Back out to Padgett for a deep three, and it drops. Preston Padgett has definitely put himself on the board as a three-point shooter. All the way from the outside, Reuter with an answering with another three. So the Pioneers and the Eagles playing a little tit for tat. Pioneers lead right now by 7. Wiggins driving to the outside, hit on the hand. And last touch by a defender, so the Pioneers will once again get the ball, possession right there at their own end, excuse me. Okay, so the score is corrected from a little technical error. It's actually 22-16, a 6-point lead right now for the Pioneers. Padgett looking to inbound, going deep back to Greenberg. Greenberg covered up right now by number 25 with a floater in the middle. It does not go. Jason Randall on the rebound. And looks like Jason Randall is going to pick up a free throw. Nope, I was wrong, folks. Sorry. That was on Norman. So it'll be inbounded by Padgett for the Pioneers. Into the inside for Greenberg. Rolls it up top for 2 more. Post out by number 25. Off the rim. Rebounded by Wiggins. That was Middleton on the shot. Padgett to the outside, out to Wiggins, up to Randall. Young on the outside, up for 2, or 3, and it is good. Xavier Young for 3 there. Reuter with possession out to Bundy. Bundy has been pretty much shut down tonight. Hockenberger checking back into the game. Bundy was very, very efficient last night working inside. He was definitely in the zone. Tonight, nothing doing. They are shutting him down. He has no points tonight so far. Deep pass, number 15, Epps in the backfield. All the way to the outside, number 2 for 3, and he misses. Rebounded by Bundy. Must have heard me. He decided to get on the board. So that's 2 for Bundy. Greenberg driving to the inside. And that was Norman on the penalty. His third foul tonight. He's already getting in foul trouble. We're not even out of the second period yet. Greenberg to the line. If you're an Eagle, that's the last person you want to see up there. Because he is really good at what he does. And there's one to prove it. And it looks like we're working out the foul indication here. Coaches believe that Norman only has 2, not 3. And we're trying to clarify right now. I may be wrong, but I believe it was 3. But the coaches keep a little stronger track than I do. But then again, we're also talking about the player's coach. So sometimes the rose-colored glasses don't allow you to see what you need to see. So now that we've gotten all the technical difficulties squared away, Greenberg still at the line looking for his second. And there it is. Greenberg shooting 100% from the Greenberg line, as I like to call it. And here comes Jason Randall on the steal. And rejected. Draws the foul. Bundy didn't want to let it go. Maybe he should have. But he come in with authority to say, this is my house, you're not doing that. However, that gives Jason Randall 2 on the line. And he misses 1. So we got a timeout by Nixa, Missouri. It's going to be a full timeout. Nixa coach is trying to get a handle on this because right now they have an 11-point deficit. In the second period, 2.5 minutes in, they're already down by 11. They have to shoot this in the foot right now and get back on their game plan. Nixa, Missouri last night started off slow, but came on strong to win in royal fashion, if you will. They definitely played strong last night. But Leavenworth has played strong through the entire series so far, and they're not showing any signs of change. I am so sorry about that, folks. I thought I would try to cough out of your ears there. Back at the line is Randall. And he makes his second attempt. Nixa with possession. Reuter up the middle. Oh, and he throws it to the crowd. He threw that all the way over to T. Wayne. So now Leavenworth will have possession. Inbounded by Padgett to Young. Back to Randall once again. Greenberg top of the key. Kicks it back out to Young. Back out to Randall. Young once again. Oh, excuse me, Wiggins to Young. And Schweitz gets his first penalty of the night. Xavier Young to the free throw line again. Throwing 100% so far. That's his third of three so far tonight. Got one more coming. And he misses his second. Rebounded by Hocklander. And Young going for the ball inadvertently gets Reuter. Got a hold. And Reuter right now is shooting 100% as well from the line. And there's another for him. Ryan Eddy checking back in. Hocklander checking out. And he knocks down his second. So with a little under 5 minutes left to play in the half right now, 31-20 in favor of the Pioneers. Pioneers working it well from the outside, spreading out the defenders, setting them up, and lining up shots. Young misses that. And rebound by Paget, unfortunately knocked it out of bounds. So Nixa has possession. Bundy has the ball, dishes it back out, kicks it to the inside to Reuter, who works it in for two more. 9 points on the game for Reuter. He's working really hard. All these guys are working their tails off. Oh, and a bad pass by Greenberg up the middle. Almost recovered by Young. Bundy once again passes it to the inside. Bounces off the leg of Randall. Jeff George checking in to relieve Wiggins. Oh, I'm sorry. That is Aaron Johnson. Sorry, Aaron Johnson checking in. High pass to the backside to Reuter. Outside, deep shot, no good. Rebounded by Johnson. Offensive foul. So the basket did not count, and that penalty is against Preston Paget. Bundy coming to the line. And that one is out and loose, rebounded by Greenberg. And penalty called on Bundy when he was going for the ball. And Preston Paget taking a quick break. Greenberg going to the line. 2 for 2 tonight. And he drops another one down. So the lead is now 9 for Leavenworth again. Takes it out. Epps driving up the middle. Into the paint. No good. Young bringing it down. Out to Johnson once again. Back out to Randall. Greenberg once again. Driving in. Draws the foul. Greenberg once again to the line. Going for 2. Now Nixa is in foul trouble. They've already got 10 team fouls. Oh, and Greenberg misses one. That lowers his percentage right now to about 90. And it's there. Dropping another one for Greenberg. Covered up in the middle. Reuter's trying to drive the board again. And he got him for traveling. Greenberg back to Young. Out to Greenberg, top of the key for 3, and it's good. Greenberg's on fire again tonight, folks. Kicked out to number 14. Nixa trying to come back. Epps for 3, and it's good. That's 5 points tonight for Epps so far. Wiggins bringing it down. Long bomb to Greenberg. Up on the easy layup for 2 more. Epps driving in again. His answer for Greenberg's 2. He got 2 of his own. And Nixa looking to steal the ball. Young driving down, controlling it. Nixa's definitely starting to put the pressure on. Greenberg with a floating one, and it does not go. Rebounded by Edie. Epps slowing it down a little bit. Johnson on coverage for Epps. Out for 3. Drops it down. So with 1:09 left, the lead is cut to 7. A lot of high-pressure action there, dishing it back. Greenberg slowing them down a little bit with 45 seconds left to play in the first half. Kicks it back over to Young. Got to watch the line back over there so he doesn't get in trouble. Young keeping the ball going. Coach is making sure that they don't want their guys to foul. Trying to keep that pressure on, though. 13 seconds left on the clock for the half. And the basket's in. Basket does not count, though, because that was traveling against the Pioneers. 8.5 left to play in the first half. It looks like we have a little technical error. Squaring it away. It And I think they're going to probably check the clock here because the clock was actually started before they touched the ball. And Epps knocks down another. And Jeff George checking in for the first time tonight. Epps for a second. It's up and good. And so, the score right now, Leavenworth Pioneers 39 Leavenworth 39, Nixa 34. And we'll be back in 10 minutes, folks, when this kicks off once again. So, Paget with the ball at the top of the key. Up for three, and it's good. Paget's on fire tonight, folks. He's now sitting at 11 points. Bundy with possession, kicks it out to Epps. Back out to Edie. Up for three is no good. Rebounded by Bundy, and still no good. Bundy's going to go to the line, shoot two. And that foul was on Greenberg. That's his second tonight. And Bundy drops one in. Gives him 3 points on the night so far. Last night, he shot almost 20 points by himself. So he's definitely had a slow start. And drops the second one in as well. So although Bundy is shooting 100% from the free throw line tonight, he has definitely been limited on his possession. Leavenworth obviously did their scouting, is keeping him away from it. Paget for three again. And does not go in. Hamlin misses on the rebound. Reuter for three, shoots it and nails it. Reuter is now sitting on 12 points for the night. Back out to Greenberg, kicks it out to Hamlin. Funderburg covered up in the middle over Norman. Young on the outside. Man-to-man coverage by Nixa, trying to shut down this Pioneer offense. Greenberg on the outside, dishes it back out to Funderburg, out to Young once again, who posts up and nails it. Young nails a two-pointer. That's 8 points for Young tonight. This Nixa team, they sort of flow when they get going. Norman in for two. And Leavenworth knows it. They want to keep an eye on it, make sure they don't get away with anything. That's why they got Norman shut down to only 9 points so far this game. But they have cut the lead to three, so Leavenworth's got to be careful. Don't, rest on their laurels. They need to get out there. Paget with the drive, in for two. Epps brings it back down, kicks it over to Bundy. Up the middle, Funderburk for the block. Hamlin comes up with the steal. Into Funderburk, up for the easy layup for two more. Jericho Funderburk sitting on 4 points now. Back outside once again. The ball is tipped and picked off. Paget bringing it down. A lot of heart being put into this game, folks. Paget dishes it to the outside, out to Young. Little confusion there. Into Funderburk, back to Greenberg. And the basket count. And Greenberg's going to go to the line once again. And he's going to get one. Edie checks out, and Hocklander checks in for the Eagles. Greenberg to the line once again. And he misses it. Not very common for Greenberg. It's the second miss tonight, bringing this percentage down to about 80. And that was no good. The rebound by Funderburk. Out to Greenberg once again. Almost stolen there by Epps. Young takes it to the outside, slows him down a little bit. Kicks it out to Hamlin. Out to Funderburk once again. Out to Young. Way on the outside, looking to find some type of a hole where he can pop a shot. Paget jumps up for two and misses. Rebound by Norman. Coming back, Nixon's coming back the other way. And with a floater layup for Norman, 2 more. He's on 11 points now. Norman's starting to warm up now. Everyone is starting to get into their rhythm here. Greenberg in for 2. And that one went up and over. So we have a timeout taken by taken by the Eagles. 30-second timeout. Score is 52-43, a 9-point difference in favor of the Pioneers. Third quarter, 3 minutes, 17 left to play in the third quarter. Pioneers not showing any sign that they're going to let up, but neither are the Eagles. Nixa has a very strong, cohesive unit out here. A lot of times you'll see the pass without even looking. They know what their partners are thinking out there, and it's very smooth, strategic type shots, strategic plays out there, specifically designed for the end result, which is the point. Funderburg kicks it in to Young. Ball's tipped up to Greenberg. Saves it, throws it back into Paget. That was beautiful. Back into Greenberg, who goes for the layup and misses. Hocklander comes up with the rebound, throws it down, brings it into Bundy, drives up into the paint, in for 2. Bundy now up to 6 points for the game, 4 of which accomplished in this period alone. Young on the outside. Going in for the lay, does not make it. Comes up way short. Being brought back down by Reuter, number 2. Bundy on the outside. And it looks like that one was going to be on Funderburg. And it's a hold. And that'll be a timeout taken by the Pioneers. So, 2:27 left to play in the third period. Remember, folks, this has been brought to you by Citizens National Bank and Brad Paget. Citizens National Bank is a sponsor of Leavenworth Invitational since 1995. Citizens National Bank is family-owned, independent financial services organization with a strong commitment to the community. Locations are in Leavenworth and Lansing, have 24-hour ATMs as well as online banking. Citizens is a proud sponsor of both Leavenworth and Lansing webcasts this season. Citizens National Bank member FDIC. So Bundy will be inbounding, probably going to find Hocklander on the outside. That's deflected and knocked out by Greenberg. Cameron Wiggins checking in for the Pioneers. Dakota Hamlin checking out. Dish out to Hocklander, into Norman, back into Bundy with a fadeaway jumper, good for 2. So Young with position. Zone defense going on right now for the, man-to-man defense going on right now for Nixa, trying to shut down Pioneers. And the penalty drawn in by Young, going to take 2 to the line. And that is another penalty on Norman. That's 4 for Norman now. And he's getting real close. He needs to start cooling his heels a little bit. That's 2 more for Young. Number 25, Milton, comes in to relieve Norman. And Young knocks down the second one. Right now, Young has 12 points on the game. Epps with possession of the back of the court here. Hocklander dishes it into Bundy. Float-away jumper off the board and does not go. And looks like Middleton was the last to touch the ball, so Pioneers will get it. And Funderburk inbounding to Young. All the way down to Greenberg. Fadeaway jump. It is no good. Young gets the rebound. Puts it up. Still no good. Reach over by Funderburk. It's going to be Nix's possession. Minute 29 left to play in the third quarter. Third period. 7-point difference in favor of the Pioneers, 54-47. So Epps brings it back down. Driving up the middle, does not get it, and is going to get 2 to the line for blocking. And that's on Young. And that one rolls out. That's a rare miss for Epps. And that one rolls in. So Young's slowing the pace down a little bit. A 6-point lead over the Eagles right now. Number 33 checking in the game. That's Truelove, Anthony Truelove. There's Young. And it looks like it's going to be a blocking foul on Reuter. It's going to be 2 to the line. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not going to be 2 to the line. The referee misled me there. And it looks like Padgett will be inbounding. And it looks like the referee's going to hold up things just to make sure that the player is okay. They don't like to come out of here when they're hurt. And they're worried that maybe he hit his head on the ground pretty hard. But the player seems to be okay. He's explaining to the officials he does not want to come out. But I believe the officials are going to make him come out just to be sure. That is Austin Reuter. Austin Reuter, who's really put forth a strong effort here, and they're just going to make sure he's okay. And he'll be back in the game. He's the type of player, he won't stay down for long. I can pretty much guarantee you that. And number 3 checks in. That is Jordan Jensen. Pass deep up to the outside for Greenberg is no good. Rebound taken by Epps. Greenberg's percentages have fallen off a little bit. Epps calling traffic, trying to get it going with 39 seconds left to play in the quarter. Into the inside. And looks like a foul called on Anthony Truelove. His first foul of the night. Number 14, Edie's going to be inbounding. Sends it all the way out to Epps. All the way across half court. 30 seconds left to play in the period. Up for 3 is no good. And it's tipped out of bounds by Nixa. And right now, Pioneers are going to have possession. So 24 seconds left to play in the period. 6-point lead for the Pioneers right now, 54-48. Here comes the pressure. Back into Greenberg, back out for Young. Not Young, but for Wiggins. Back out to Young. Floater up for Greenberg is no good. So entering into the fourth period, Leavenworth retains a 6-point lead. Once they took the lead earlier in the first period, they haven't given it up since. So we got one more period to decide the champions of the Citizens National Bank 17th Annual Invitational Tournament. And they're not disappointing, folks. This game is just high impact, high speed, lots of defense, lots of good offense. Heroes emerging that you wouldn't be expecting. Epps so far right now has put up about 13 points. Greenberg in the second period alone, he put up 12 points, but his entire accumulation is over 20 points already for this game. Also, Preston Paget is up in there with 13 points. Funderburk in with 4, Hamlin in with 5. I mean, the entire team is stepping up to score consistently. So this is turning into a very exciting game for Leavenworth Pioneers, not to mention the fact that they are facing a formidable opponent in the Nixa Eagles. So Nixa has possession in the beginning of the fourth period, and here we go. The last 8 minutes to decide the champions of the CMB Invitational. 2 more for Norman. So Wiggins passes it back out to Young. All the way back across to Wiggins. And Young recovers the ball, almost got knocked away. Paget takes a flying pass. Back out to Paget once again. Kicks it out to Truelove, back into Greenberg, out to Wiggins for 3, and it's good. That is his first three-pointer of the night, or second three-pointer of the night. Yeah, he is, last night he kicked in for about 14 points. And that basket doesn't count for number 23, Norman. And it's a hold against Greenberg. Pass up high for Reuter. And it's in for 3. Looks like that little bump on the floor didn't hurt him at all. He's sitting on 14 points right now. One of the high scorers for the Eagles. Paget out on the backside, dishes it back to Wiggins. Into Greenberg. Goes for the layup. No good. Rejected. Rebound picked up by number 25, Middleton. Bundy for 3 is no good. Picked up by Epps. Also no good. Rebounded by Norman. And Norman is called on the push, so it will be the Pioneers' ball. And that is Norman's 5th, so he is done for the night. Oh, correction, he's not done. That is his 5th. And looks like he is sitting it down. Sorry, folks, sometimes the rules escape me. My brain is hardwired for football. But we're working on the software upgrade for that. Greenberg inbounds to Young, back to Greenberg. You got to wonder if the loss of the big man in the middle is going to affect In fact, Nixa. Young slowing him down a little bit. It's a 4-point game with 6 minutes left. Jeff George onto the outside. All the way out to Paget. Paget drives in. Sent to the backside, back to Greenberg. Out to Young. Almost loses it to Edie. Into Greenberg once again. Out to Paget for three. And it's good. It's like Paget's really turning it on now. He's hitting a 16 points. And Reuter once again is no good. Rebound by George. Young brings it back down. Fast break for the Pioneers. Out to Wiggins. And the timeout called by Coach Hogan of the Pioneers with a 7-point lead. It's going to be a 1-minute timeout. I almost said a 1-hour timeout. Sorry about that. Once again, folks, we want to thank all of our sponsors, A&B Car Star, Christian Brothers Roofing, the Young Sign Company, Leavenworth Times, the CCA, Correctional Corporation of America, Lisa Reese of Caldwell Banker Riley & Son, Danny Tech Ford, and, of course, Citizens National Bank, and, obviously, 810varsity.com. Once again, folks, we are in the final 5.5 minutes of the Citizens National Bank 17th Annual Basketball Invitational Tournament. And when we resume play, Pioneers will have the ball with a 7-point lead over the Nixa Eagles. Paget brings it into Greenberg, pops it out to Young. George posting up on the outside, looking for something, kicks it back out, runs all the way back around to Young, into the inside to Greenberg, and he misses again. Looks like that basket is rejecting him now. And that ball is tipped out by Paget, so Nixa will have possession. So Bundy brings it back in. Young covering up. Leavenworth bringing the pressure now. Making sure not to stop until the end of the game. I mean, don't stop till that buzzer goes. And that is a penalty on Wiggins. It's going to bring number 15 fouled number 15, so number 15 will be taking a shot. Epps, good for one. And Hocklander checks in, give Bundy a break. Epps knocks down his second. Shooting at 75% at the line right now. Young brings them back down. We have a 5-point lead. Leavenworth has a 5-point lead over Nixa. Paget looking for something to happen. Drives it up in the middle himself and with a high layup. It's 2 more for Paget. He's very active tonight. Out to the outside to Edie. Drives it up, nothing but air. Rebound by Young. Still driving forward. Middleton was trying to get to that ball and fell down. George kicks it right back out to Paget. In with the floater, and it's good for Paget again. Back up to a 9-point lead for the Pioneers. 3 long three-pointer for Reuter. Austin Reuter with another three-pointer. He is 4 for 4 on three-pointers tonight. He's doing awesome in the way of the long-range shooting. 30-second timeout taken by the Eagles. Got a 6-point lead still as the Pioneers with 3:43 left to play in the game. This tournament has proved to be nothing short of exciting. High school basketball is definitely sometimes overlooked, but you really have to check this out if you want to see what the future looks like in the way of basketball in the state or in the nation. Look at the high schools. You will see where that talent's coming from. And it's not always from the big schools. It's not always from the big city schools. The little schools produce just as many high-quality players as the big schools, sometimes even better because they get the one-on-one attention and mentoring from the coaching staff and the school. So when we resume 3:43, Pioneers possession, and the pressure is now on. They're covering man-to-man coverage. They wouldn't even let Greenberg inbound the ball. Now, 30-second timeout now taken by Leavenworth. The pressure is going to be on. Nixa is not going to let up. There's a 6-point deficit. That's only a few baskets. So Nixa is going to be looking to go to their shooters. More than likely, Epps will get a lot. Austin Reuter will also get a lot of action. And Edie could also work himself up into the inside once he's there. Hocklander, very fast on the ball, drawing off, trying to get Middleton cover in the middle. They're going to be playing man-to-man real tight on all their guys, just trying to get possession back. So if you look, everybody is hip to hip. Inbound to Padgett coming down. Double coverage. Stolen by Middleton. Driving up the middle. Up to Padgett. And he misses. And looks like we've got a penalty on George. Going to bring him to the line for 2. And it's going to be Bundy at the line. Not a good thing for the Pioneers. Bundy is 2 for 2 on the line right now. And that's 3. So Epps setting up for his second. Funderburg checking back in. Wiggins checking out. Bringing in the big man to take care of Reuter and Middleton. Bundy up, knocks his 4th down for the night. All the way back down to Greenberg. Slows it down a little bit. 4-point game right now with 3:25 left to play. Kicks it out to Funderburg once again. Out to Young. Looking for something. And that was called on Epps. That's 4 for Epps. He's got to be careful. Get himself in trouble. Inbound from Padgett to Greenberg. Kicks it out to Young. Back into Greenberg once again, and that one was called on Greenberg. And that was called on Greenberg. The referee felt it was a higher elbow, but apparently it wasn't bad enough to put him on the line, so it's inbounded by Epps to Bundy. And that is off the foot of Greenberg, off of Bundy. So the Pioneers will get it back, so that didn't really cost them anything, except for time. Funderburg inbounds to Young. Kicking it forward into Hamlin, who has checked in again. Back out to Greenberg. Dishes it into Paget. The ball is lost into Middleton, has it. Sending it down. Bundy now has the ball. Kicking it out to Reuter, in for a three. That brings it to a 1-point game. And the pressure is now on. Reuter to the outside. Gives it to Bundy. And with 2:16 left, the Eagles are threatening to take the lead from the Pioneers. Epps comes to the line. That foul was on Dakota Hamlin. And a timeout taken by the Pioneers. We'll take this opportunity to go over our sponsors once again. Citizens National Bank, Danny Zeck Ford, Lisa Reese of Caldwell Banker Riley & Sons, Correctional Corporation of America, the Leavenworth Times, Young Sign Company, Christian Brothers Roofing, and A&B Car Star, as well as A10varsity.com. Folks, this game is exciting. 64-63 in favor of the Pioneers right now. That lead was 7 under a minute ago. So the Nixa Eagles had a strong run where they caught it up. Key plays by Reuter knocking down the three-pointers. And at the line, we have Epps now going up. So we're going to see how this turns out. We're going to follow this to the bitter end. So as we resume, Epps will be at the line for two. Epps is shooting very well tonight. He's right now 5 for 6. Now he is 6 for 7. And he knocked it down once again, 7 for 8. The Eagles, for the first time tonight, take the lead. And heavy coverage on Paget and on Greenberg. And no penalty called there on the reach. Driving forward. Now they're bringing it back down. Bundy bringing it to the top of the key. Funderburk waiting for him. Out to the outside once again. Got to keep a hand out there on Reuter. Epps with the ball once again. Driving around to the inside. Kicking it back out. Bundy out there with Greenberg. And another penalty called on Dakota Hamlin. The basket counts. So now the Eagles take a 3-point lead. And that's going to bring Bundy to the line. It's okay. What? Yeah. Well, apparently Coach Hogan wasn't sure that the basket went in, but it did. I'm sure once they review it back, they'll see that. And that one did not go. And Greenberg comes up with the rebound. And a timeout taken by the Pioneers. With 1:21 left to play in the game, trailing the Eagles 67-64. Okay, folks, here we go. Minute 21 left to play in the game. Pioneers trail the Eagles right now by 3. Right now, the Eagles are going to try and keep the pressure on, try and keep everybody out of three-point range. Ball's kicked into Young. Paget draws out on the outside. Dish out to Paget. Back right out to Young. A minute left on the clock. Dish all the way out to Hamlin, into the inside. Funderburk is rebounded by Middleton. And high pressure being put on by the Pioneers right now as we speak. Run around to the outside, trying to collect the ball, trying to run out the time. 30 seconds left to play in the game. And Paget draws a foul to stop the clock. And Reuter coming to the line, shooting 100% tonight. And he sinks his last one. That takes the lead to 5 for the Eagles. Up for 3, and it's good. Young buries the 3, cutting the lead to 2. So Paget commits the foul once again to stop the clock. That's going to send, I believe, number 25 to the line. No, actually, it's going to send Reuter to the line once again. And Reuter drops another one in. And a timeout taken by the Eagles with 17.3 left to play in the game. 3-point difference. It's going to be a 1-minute timeout. So as we resume play here, Austin Reuter coming to the line, shooting 100% tonight from the free throw. And it's down for the second. Young's driving down, up for the 3, and it's good! And it looks like the clock did not stop in time, so the referee will probably be backing that up a little bit. And it looks looks like the referee's calling a technical foul on Coach Hogan of the Pioneers. And Coach Hogan is not happy about this. They still get the technical foul, and of course, the Nixa Eagles are going to take it, and they're going to use Reuter for it. And as you can tell, the crowd is not very happy with what the referee has called. And Reuter for a second, and it's also in good. So Reuter is the high scorer for them tonight. And they will also get possession. And here we go once more, folks. The excitement here is between the coaches and the referee. 11 seconds left to play, a three-point game right now. Reuter will have it. Once again, we'll go to the line once again. With 9.7. So Padgett will now be out. He'll be replaced. And they'll bring in Jason Randall, number 4. So, folks, this is what we talk about when you get down to the last second. It takes 5 minutes to play the game. Austin Reuter has been incredible from the free throw line, shooting 100%. And he's still knocking them down. Now, Nixa's going to make a point of not fouling. Young up for 3 is no good. And Nixon's going to come away with the victory, 75-70. And they earned that one, folks. They ran right through. They worked their tails off for that. And I tell you, folks, that was a hard-fought game. A lot of key players, a lot of key plays. And regardless of who you cheer for, you have to respect the skill on both sides. So congratulations, Nixa Eagles on first place and Leavenworth Pioneers for second place. And we will see you next time on Leavenworth Sports on 810varsity.com.